Hey friends, I'm back, Rob here with Robert Ham Photography. Today we're talking about Instax Mini Evo for photo booths. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Before we get started, if you want to know how to build this booth, I did a whole video on it. Go check that out. I'll leave that in the card that pops up or in the link down below so that you can see it. It's pretty simple. Of course, we are talking about instant cameras, and this is just a few of the instant cameras that I have, more to come, but I thought this would be a great start. We got 5, 6 different cameras here and a printer to look at and kind of compare against your phone. As you're going through, I want you to know that none of this is sponsored. This is all done with my money, my own thoughts, and through actually using these at different weddings and things like that. So if you see something that you like or you'd like to support the channel, the links down below are affiliate links. I'll get a little kickback from what you purchase, and that'd be much appreciated. Thank you very much. Let's jump right into it. The too long didn't wait. Right out of the box, it's the Instax Mini Evo that is the winner. If you're going to have one camera to do this kind of thing, it's the Instax Mini Evo. The reason are twofold and simple. First is you can print whichever pictures that you want. Second is that you can keep a copy of the image on your phone, which means that when you go to check out the images later, you always have a copy. Now, when we talk about a copy, there is another way to get one, and that's through using an XT camera or an X series camera or your phone. The image that's saved on the Instax Mini Evo, just so that you know, isn't the highest quality image. It's not one that would even look really great blown up to 8x10, but for reprints or small prints for your own photo album or something like that, they will serve this purpose quite well. We're gonna go through these in order. I'm gonna share them with you. The great Polaroid OneStep Now. Plus, I like this camera. There's a couple things about it that you gotta know. You do have to choose manual focus on here, either close or far away, selfie, or like a group shot. You do have some interesting images, options that you have with the image compensation, suppress flash and stuff like that. I do like that for this camera. However, the prints are pretty expensive. You're gonna spend 16, 18 bucks for a pack of 8. They run around 280 to 350, depending on where you get them. And although I printed these images in black and white, not realizing what film was in there, I just used these 2 shots that I had from the last time I was using it. I really like them. But sometimes framing can be difficult. As we see here, I got my head cut off. And then I think this is, however, the sharpest image out of all of the analog images that I took. So keep that in mind. Also know that that could just be a result of the fact that it's a bigger print. It's black and white, which makes things look sharper. And maybe I got the zone focus right on this particular model. The other one, oh man, the beautiful Polaroid Go. I love this little camera. It makes photography so much fun. Problem is no exposure compensation, right? So although it's tiny, and we basically get these prints at half the cost of the other prints, we get 20 bucks for a pack of 2 packs of 8, so 16 prints. So it does cost less. Yeah, it's a smaller print. It still costs more than what the white framed Instax Mini prints would be, which is around 50 to 70 cents, depending on when you buy them. And buy them in a bundle pack, that's for sure. And in this instance, Polaroid film is a little bit more finicky. Instax film is very well developed with its chemistry, so it doesn't matter how long you have them, how long the pack's been there, how long it's been sitting in the camera, it won't have any problems. These right here kind of fogged up over time, so that's because the film's expired. Now, the runner up to this is actually tied for the Instax SQ6 or the Instax Mini Evo, because the reality is these cameras are excellent cameras. The reason that they didn't make the first person cut the #1 top pick is because, well, if you have a problem with your print, you're just printing it, you're getting a dud shot, and that costs you money. With something like the Evo or your phone or a printer app like a Share Printer or a Share Printer 3 or something like that, you can choose which images to print for yourself, saving you money. Whether or not the images are better or worse than the other ones, I think that they're probably equally divided on that. You could have 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, and be happy with them as long as they were properly focused prints. Here's the other thing. These cameras, the SQ6 as well as the Instax FUJIFILM Neo Classic, the Mini 90, also are zone focus, which means you have to set the focus either 3 meters or further, either between 1.5 to 3 meters or closer than 1.5 meters, which is your macro shot. So you've got to set that ahead of time, and you don't really know what you're going to get before the shot comes out. Also, when we think about that, we got to realize how important that is here. Now, I did get some shots that I really like, but I got a lot that were no good. And most of them came because as I was fiddling with this, setting it up, you guys saw the intro, my hand was just pushing the shutter button and there was no way to stop it other than trying to take the battery out, and that didn't work. And this isn't as much of a problem as you might think, except for setup. And if you have kids that are running around and moving, you're just gonna burn through film. So depending on how you're setting up your photo booth and using it this way, that could be an issue. However, basically 4 out of the 10 shots I took with this particular camera in the setup process were no good. Then once I got kind of dialed into where I wanted it, I was just trying to get a selfie shot to show what it might look like if you or your friends are doing kind of selfies and stuff on the booth. That way one person could kind of be operating it while everybody was standing there but be in the shot as well. And this is equivalent to a 60mm lens, which is just so tight. It's a very tight lens for a selfie shot. You really need to be far away, which makes a lot of sense. It's 60mm, which means that the best shots that I got out of this one are pretty impressive. I really like the blue and the purple that we have in the shot. The natural analog look of the film and everything comes across great here. I like it quite a bit. But for the selfie shot, nah, that flash just blows out all the highlights and gets rid of the warmth of people's skin tone. So I have to say that's one of the reasons we stepped apart. Now, we're gonna move over here to the Instax Mini Evo. Okay, so this camera is the winner. Here's the long reason. For many reasons, other than the two we set up front. You can print which pictures you want, which means you don't have to print the duds, and you have a copy saved in here. Although it's not the best copy, the little, not even 1.5 megabyte image that will be saved on the file, less than 5 megapixels, at least it's there so you can reprint and have really nice looking reprints. There are over 100 effects built into this, so if you had someone that was running the booth, like a cousin or a friend or a brother that went over there to help, or someone that was savvy that knew about this type of stuff, they'd be able to take charge of the booth operation for you, have a good time setting effects and getting great pictures of their friends and family, your friends and family, and printing those. The camera also has some editing capabilities built into it by means of image brightness, color saturation, cropping, things along those lines. Out of that camera, I was able to produce these 3 images. I thought they were absolutely great. And it doesn't to me look like for some reason I got any wide angle or large shots or like full length shots, but I'll roll some of my first video when we built this. You can see those now. And so yeah, you're able to get some really cool stuff with this particular camera. Moving on to the Instax SQ6. Like the SQ6 quite a bit. One of my favorite cameras that Fujifilm makes because I like the square format. Same operation as the Instax Mini 90, except in the square format, and you don't have an LCD display on the back. You have just little lights that hide up all of the different options that you got. It has quite a few options and you will enjoy it very much. Now, when we look at the images, because the square image is larger, I preferred these quite a bit. Now, between the Mini 90 and the Instax Square, I think that the Instax Square does a better job, especially with no flash photography. Now, I was moving in this one, so don't worry about it, but just look at the colors right there. No flash and great colors. Had I not moved around a little bit when I was photographing with these, it would have been a lot better. Once we get from there, we're using the flash to get that shutter speed up high enough so that we don't have any motion blur. It does a good job at keeping the skin tones looking illuminated, but not being too blown out, considering that we are taking selfie style shots. The minute that we move back a little bit further and we actually have the camera on a tripod and we're getting more of that 3/4 waist up kind of look, the flash is no longer as harsh and it really looks nice. I think it works out quite a bit. Again, these are going to be more expensive. Then they're probably the second most expensive print on the table when you look at Instax Square. Now, this is a printer print that came from this printer right here. This is the Share Printer 2. They don't make this particular one anymore, but you can get a new one that's been updated, has more features to the app that goes along with it. It's gonna print the same way. The reality is this came straight off of my phone and it did a great job. So when we look at these prints that are printed from the phone, as compared to the prints that came off the Instax Mini Evo, I would dare you to tell me a difference between one or the other. There are some, because each photo will be slightly different based on the shooting condition and what the camera chose between the phone and the Mini Evo at the time the picture was taken, as far as shutter speed and things like that. We are talking about shooting in an automatic mode here. We aren't talking about shooting in a manual mode. None of these cameras are going to allow you to do that for what these purposes are, except for the Polaroid OneStep Plus in the manual mode through the Bluetooth app, and you're not going to be shooting that anyways because they're close to $3 a print. In any event, I don't even think it would come out to look as nice, just because Polaroid, I don't think used in this situation would work very well. Remember, we're talking about using film inside, here, like a dark room, and this is already kind of pushing the bounds a little bit. But when we compare the two, between printing from your phone and between printing from the Evo, you'd be hard-pressed to tell a difference, which means you should love the pictures that you're going to print out. Where you will tell a difference is if you take a picture on your phone in a lighting environment like this, it will take a more detailed, high-resolution image than what the Mini Evo will give you. The image will be a larger file size. It'll give you more opportunity to use it as a blown-up portrait shot somewhere. You probably will like it quite a bit more for archival purposes. So that brings us to the final answer, the Fujifilm Instax Mini Evo. Great little camera, it's gonna run your photo booth real easy. You're gonna love it because it's gonna save you money on prints, because you only print what you need. You have some ability to edit and use different filters built into the camera. It saves a copy just for you, and you can print from your phone. Guys, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Let me know how you like this video. If you wanna pick one of these up for yourself, go ahead and grab it using the links below. I'm Rob, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye for now.